Hi everyone, my name is Ivania Wilson, and today I'll be sharing my research on smart urban logistics. This presentation summarizes how emerging delivery technologies are reshaping cities, the gaps that exist in current research and regulation, and introduces a new framework, specifically how cities can regulate delivery robots, drones, and hyperlocal fulfillment systems. Here's a quick overview of what I'll walk through. I'll start with my motivation for choosing this topic, then move into the goals. We'll review what the literature says, along with the evaluation metrics. We'll touch on some global case studies, go over the gaps I found, and discuss the design framework before wrapping up. This topic stems from two parts of my background. First, working in the retail industry, I've watched how e-commerce has exploded and how much strain it's put on logistics. Cities around the world are overloaded with last mile deliveries as e commerce demand has skyrocketed and the traditional van based system cannot keep up. This matters because delivery is now one of the biggest contributors to congestion, emissions, and curbside traffic. Second, as an urban planning student, I've learned how delivery systems reshape land use, streets, and public space. Smart logistics innovations offer solutions, but if cities don't regulate them proactively, these technologies can make urban mobility worse rather than better. Together, my background has made me want to explore how cities can actually keep up with this shift while staying sustainable and equitable. The main goals of the research were to understand the new delivery technologies emerging globally, compare how different regions manage them, identify the biggest gaps in sustainability and governance, and ultimately propose a framework that cities can actually use. From the literature, there were a few themes that kept repeating. First, last mile delivery is extremely carbon intensive, more than most people actually realize. Second, to meet growing demand, companies have introduced a new generation of delivery technologies. These include autonomous sidewalk robots, aerial drones, AI optimized routing systems, and micro fulfillment centers that enable faster processing and shorter delivery distances. Research is still catching up, and most of what we know actually comes from companies, not independent studies, which creates a major gap in evaluation. One of the biggest takeaways from my research is that cities don't have a consistent way to measure delivery pilots. So I laid out metrics that should be standardized: emissions per parcel, sidewalk and curb impacts, safety incidents, ADA impacts, and how much each system disrupts the public realm. Without metrics, cities can't compare modes or make informed decisions. Globally, we see totally different landscapes. In the US, drones do best in sprawling suburban areas, and sidewalk robots have fragmented rules. In Europe and the UK, autonomous robots and cargo bikes thrive because cities are walkable and governance is stronger. In China, logistics operates at massive scale thanks to centralized regulation, and India's 5-minute delivery model shows how hyperlocal systems can transform retail but also causes major congestion and safety issues. These comparisons show how geography shapes feasibility. Prime Air is Amazon's drone delivery program that uses small autonomous aerial drones to deliver lightweight packages directly to homes. Its goal is ultra-fast, contactless delivery, and it is currently limited to FAA-approved pilot zones. Amazon Scout was a small six-wheeled autonomous sidewalk delivery robot developed and tested by Amazon to deliver small packages in suburban neighborhoods. The pilot focused on low-speed, last-mile delivery automation, but was eventually discontinued in 2022. Starship Technologies is continuing to manufacture sidewalk delivery robots, primarily used on university campuses and in walkable European and US neighborhoods. Their robots travel on sidewalks to deliver groceries, meals, and packages. JD Logistics is one of China's largest e-commerce platforms. It deploys autonomous ground robots, delivery drones, warehouse automation, and nationwide smart logistics infrastructure at scale, which is unmatched globally. Micro-fulfillment centers and dark stores are local compact warehouses, sometimes automated or semi-automated, embedded inside cities to shorten delivery distances. They support same-day and instant delivery for e-commerce and groceries. This quick commerce service is seen in dense cities like India, where the 5-minute delivery model is common. When you pull all of this together, a few gaps really stand out. There are no standardized metrics, regulations are fragmented, data sharing is limited, ADA issues aren't addressed well, and micro-fulfillment centers don't fit into existing zoning categories. These gaps make it almost impossible for cities to evaluate pilots consistently. To address those gaps, I developed the Smart Urban Logistics Regulation Framework. It includes sidewalk governance rules for robots, airspace rules for drones, a new zoning category for micro-fulfillment centers, sustainability metrics, and a role for digital twin simulations. It's designed to help cities test pilots, define zoning regulations for dark stores, establish smart sidewalk regulation, and ultimately give cities a blueprint they can adapt to their own context. Going forward, cities need stronger public-private partnerships and better data to evaluate technologies. Automated delivery has real potential to reduce emissions and congestion, but only if it's governed proactively. My hope is that the Smart Urban Logistics Regulation Framework gives planners and policymakers a clearer starting point for managing this transition. Thank you for listening.